It's time to catch up. These are my pickups for the week of June 10th, 2018.
Games are coming out of every pocket. And other things too. We gotta engage bag mode to get this thing home.
Did you ever go to a house and you start digging through their stuff, and obviously we're at a garage sale first. You don't want to just go into some random house and start digging through people's stuff, but you see things like baseball cards and toys that give you an idea of the era of all the kids who had gone through the household through the years. First house of the day of this major garage sale event, and I'm like, this house is, there's going to be some video game stuff there. So, of course I asked my questions, and the lady's like, she didn't seem like she knew what the heck a video game was, but Nintendo seemed to spark her memory. So, brings out a N64, and actually, because of one of the games here, yeah, you probably already know which game just because I checked that. I didn't even check it at the garage sale because I figured when I saw Donkey Kong 64, there had to be an expanded RAM. So we've got NBA Live, Excitebike 64, Diddy Kong Racing, Pokemon Snap, controllers, cables, and a memory card that's sure to lose your save. She's like, what is this worth to you?
What do you think? What do you think it is good for you?
$5, $10 maybe?
$10 for this, all the stuff?
Yeah, or this without this. This is for this is with the other ones.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
$10.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
In the most dejected and depressing, way, and she's like, oh, I'll take 10. I knew she was gonna take the 10, obviously, but she seemed sort of sad too. I gave her my number. I said, hey, I'm gonna be going around. I'll be sure to come back. If you dig out any more game stuff, set it aside for me. I knew I was gonna be back to dig through that bin of action figures. So as I mentioned, it's a huge community garage sale. I had my plan and I just threw it out the window because I go down this first street and I find this lady selling the N64 set. So this is the third house I went to. Guy was just getting ready. He had a snowboard out, and I asked him about video games, and I'm talking to his girlfriend or his wife, or his wife, about just random bullshit until he digs out like this full stack of I wasn't that interested in any of these. I mean, I'm glad to see Super Nintendo stuff, but I want some games that I actually don't have and I like. Right off the bat, my eye sees Mario Kart, then we got Spider-Man, X-Men, NFL quarterback, SimCity, Star Fox. I was in Disney World playing the competition cart at the time. There's a place, I don't know if it's still there in Disney World, called Pleasure Island at the time. I was there in 94. No, 93. I was there in 93. They had a bunch of screens set up, and you could I think it was score based, but you had to go through the first level of Star Fox, which I had never played until that moment. And I didn't have a Super Nintendo, I had a Sega Genesis. Even with the sluggish and horrible frame rate, I was floored by it. I'm betting one of those guys, after the competition's over, they kind of slide that into their pocket, and now I don't know how much even the thing is worth, but good times with Star Fox and the competition card. I've played it. Have you? Next up, we've got Batman Forever, Ken Griffey, Major League Baseball, and Clay Fighter. How much do you want for each of these games?
Call 15, you can take all of them.
Sure, why not?
He starts talking about other games he has, like NES games, but he was gonna save them for his friend who was gonna come by at some time. I don't know if it was the same day or whatever, but I was just like, hey, do you think maybe I could take a look at them? He's like, yeah, sure. I have to be really quick because he could just say, you know, close down the whole thing, say he wants to be nice to his friend and give him the pick of it. Just literally scan this box super fast, grab a few titles and say, would you take blah for blah? I think maybe one of these titles got mixed in because I didn't really have this organized very well. There was a Super Street Fighter 2 in there, NFL Blitz, a Game Shark. There was a game that I never see that I want, and that's Thundercade. It's a shooter game. You can judge this game by its cover. I mean, look at that. You're on this motorbike with a little sidecar. It has a Gatling gun. You're firing, I guess they could be bullets, but it could be lasers. There's tanks, there's jets, there's a submarine. I also happen to see Dragon Warrior 3. Got a little legal damage. We got some Jeremiah B on the back. I'll give it a whirl.
These two for like $10.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, cool.
He gave me these all for 15, so I meant 2 for 10. I mean, he wasn't gonna let that offer down, I don't think. And then leaving the sale, he's like, I won't tell my friend that I sold those two. I think it was the very next house, actually.
Do you know if you're gonna have like any video game stuff?
Video game stuff. I have some. Yeah. Old Xbox games.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, Fake Ataris, Furious Karting. I don't know about this game. I decided to give it a go.
Yeah, so I mean, $1 each, or it's like $4.
They were all $1. Not a bad deal. The sale started at 9. I got there at 8:30. At 8:57, I had all this stuff in my backpack. I decided to go up this huge ass hill. I see these kids, they got a nice little lemonade stand and just a bunch of baked goods, but they had this Miss Pac-Man tabletop and they were like popping 25 cents and you can play.
Well, I was telling him I play like older games when I saw this thing, and then he was like, hey, I have a Sega downstairs.
Yeah, he does.
And they said that they had some Wii stuff. So there are more houses up the hill. You know, go find it, set it aside, and on my way down, I'll check it out, okay?
$3 is totally fine.
Okay, cool.
The little lady in the yellow skirt. Collect all the.
First house has a pink 360 controller. Not video game related, but these people have money. I noticed, like, as you go up in elevation, the prices of houses goes up as well, or at least the kind of lifestyle these people are used to. So this lady has a bin full of iDevices and phones and whatever, and I see a nice tablet sitting there.
There's a way to change it.
Yeah.
She said $10 for this thing. Turns out it had a password on it, and they couldn't get into it.
You can have it for $5 if you think you can get past the password problem.
I've already managed to blow through that password. You can factory wipe these things without knowing the password. $5, I mean, come on, this thing's in like sharp condition. It even comes with its charger. So on my way down, I bump into those kids. They pulled out a Game Gear, and I really don't need any more Game Gears. I got a ton of broken ones, which I plan to fix someday, but it's like I have a treasure chest full of Game Gears.
Said they were 2 each. I got 6 here. Would you do 10 on these guys?
Sure.
My older sister, she has kids, and they have a Wii. She said look out for some games, so they're not, this one I doubt they're gonna be into. They're kind of youngish, like 7, and this is sort of more, I think, involved. But anyways, Super Paper Mario, Monster, Stunt Racer, 4x4, Fireland Shake It, Just Dance, We Play Motion. They're getting some good games here, don't you think? Of course, if I was counting, I would have noticed that I forgot to mention Lego Harry Potter. What do I tell you about garage sales? Huh? You drain the well. Don't go to the same house more than once. Ask all your questions, exhaust them. I should add though, there is an exception. If there's a house that maybe has a sale every 1 year, every 2 years, whatever, and they're selling some new games, chances are they're gonna have some new games the next time you go. These were all teenagers running the sale here, maybe early teenagers, 12, 13, something like that. First thing I noticed, nice, shiny C-3PO 360 controller, Sonic Lost World, Pokemon Sun. $15 was the real top of what I wanted to pay. I didn't want to pay 20 for these. Not $20. So it was really like pulling taffy trying to get this kid down in price. But I just kept at it. Sure can do 15 for these 3?
Alright, fine.
Okay, cool. You don't have to sell if you don't want to sell it. Really wanted Sonic Lost World. I know I'll never get the Wii U, but that version played at a GameStop once and it looked like it was a lot of fun. I know this is probably nowhere near what the Wii U has to offer, but it's the closest thing to get I can get, and I'll never get a Wii U. Not that I won't come across one. I have. Super cheap, 30 bucks. But I just don't want one. Again, this is one of those houses where all the alarms are going off in my head. You know, my old video game spidey-sense is tingling. Because they had like this huge box of just McDonald's toys and not so much action figures like the first house, but just little, like those PVC figures you'd see in Hallmark stores back in the day. California Raisins. Video game indicator. Gremlins, stuff like that. I don't know if they have any of that stuff anymore. What's replaced them are those stupid blind bag figures which sell for $8. Side note, I know why they do that, because say you make some Nintendo figures. You make an Excitebike guy. An Excitebike guy might not sell. But Donkey Kong guy, he sells. So you just wasted all this money printing Excitebike guy. But with the blind bag, every one of them sells. So what originally cost $3 at a Hallmark store is now $8. Well, actually not the same kind of things. They're foam now. They're not even nice pieces, chunks of plastic. They're foam. And because they're obviously foam is much less weight to ship than a chunk of plastic, you know, multiplied by 1,000 or whatever. It just pisses me off, you know, because I see some of these figures on there and I go like, man, I'd like to have Darkwing Duck on my shelf. Like I even play like older stuff too, like Game Boy and Nintendo and Sega, if you have any of those, that kind of stuff.
We do. I've packed everything in Megan's Colin box.
Bella.
So
hey,
I can go see what we have.
Yeah, I can wait around a bit. She pulls out a box of Game Gear stuff, and I pull out a Power Rangers movie and Sonic Labyrinth. Here we even got the manuals. I only want to pay $1 a piece for these things, and that's going to disappoint them, especially if they're going to find stuff in the future. You think you want to pay up a little bit more, maybe they're going to more likely call you back. They're never going to call you back. Game Gear worked fine. We even tested it out there, but I lowered down the contrast because I really didn't want to buy another Game Gear. I don't. So I wanted to get out of there just buying games.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Do you think $2 for these guys?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta spend all day digging through this bin to tell you the truth, but I knew I needed to get on. But I managed to pull out this Mario. Here, we get a better look at it. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I think this is the first time I ever saw Nintendo toys at McDonald's, and I didn't get any of these as a kid. The thing was, back in the day, I didn't see any Nintendo toys. Maybe I saw stickers, but you know, you wanted to show your appreciation for Nintendo stuff outside a game. This was it. Actually, what the hell? This isn't just some hollow piece of plastic. This is a hard. It's thick. Wow. I grabbed a Gizmo duck. Felix the cat in some Halloween getup. You know, I like Felix. Check this guy. I don't know if he's gonna get the detail on the camera. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. I don't know if you ever heard of Monsters in My Pocket, but this is pretty much the same rubbery plastic material. This is Inferno, one of my favorite Transformers, just because he's a fire truck. First thing I wanted to be as a kid was a fireman. I guess I have some strange attraction to, you know, this character because of that. And then we've got this guy here. I don't remember this guy's name at all, but I do remember. So I gave him an extra $1.
You can have them.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh sweet, thank you.
Have a good day.
I saw these Pac-Man Band-Aids and they drew my eye. I kind of didn't want to pay for them, and I don't know why I just went up to the lady and asked about them, because I knew I didn't want to buy them. I just asked. I said, had they ever been opened? She didn't even think they were the Pac-Man bandages, but you can actually see Pac-Man through there. She was like, you know what, just have them. Like, I didn't even ask about a price or anything. She just put them both in one box and she said, take them. I'm not collecting these or anything like that, so these are probably gonna get used. They're not gonna sit on my shelf for like 50 years or some and get dust on them. Only if I have a boo-boo.
What do you want for it?
I was thinking more like 20, but...
How about 10?
What, buddy? Mommy's getting that for you right now. Actually, she's cracking the shell in it. $10 will work.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
The silver PSP. What have we got here? We've got a 2 gig. They really accomplished the dream getting discs in a portable fashion like this. Those Sony devs. He really didn't know what he wanted for this. I really only wanted to pay $5 for it. He didn't seem too excited about that, and I think he bumped it up to 10. I think he said, how about 10? I said, sure, that sounds fine. But before I left, I went back to that first house and I dug through the bin. This is all G.I. Joe crap, which I'm totally not interested in. I hate G.I. Joe. The good games though, the NES games, solid. I think I maybe played the arcade game once. Yeah, either way, I'm not super fan of G.I. Joe stuff. Pulled out some other things, like Batgirl, Catwoman. Again, my sister's, these are for my sister's kids. Lego, Yoshi, Super Yoshi Kart, I guess. Got this Yoda guy for my dad. Got this Wile E. Coyote figure. I also pulled out this Knuckles McDonald's thing. Maybe it's Burger King. Sega was a little bit better with merchandise. I remember seeing more plush toys and stickers and maybe like pencils and stuff like that, but they didn't really have video game toys. I was digging through the bins some more and they had toys from all eras, like 80s, 90s. They even had some, like I think they had a Ratatouille figure in there. They had some Spawn stuff. I noticed these guys. These are Battle Beasts, by the way. I rarely see Battle Beasts. I don't know how much of a thing they were here. I remember I picked up some of these as a kid. But yeah, they're pretty cool. They usually have like this little hologram on there. This one has fallen off. This is, I guess, a later version.
How much you want from Michael Jackson?
Throw them in the bag.
But would you go maybe meet me in the middle at 15?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
While I was paying, I noticed this Michael Jackson figure, and I was like, how much do you want for Michael Jackson? He just said, throw it in. Man, what a bummer, right? Before I go, let's check out a thrift store if I go home. So, I find one more game, and that is Urban Reign.
You said $2?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a, you know, beat 'em up in a 3D-esque world, but it has Namco characters in it. It says it has characters from Tekken. Because of like those weird like your ability to play as those characters, kind of reminds me of Hand and Spike on the Dreamcast. This is like another one of those games that I'm betting was lost in the shuffle. It looks almost like you get into like matches with people. I see like health bars up there. I mean, it's not the first time beat 'em ups have had health bars. Maybe because it's 3D, it looks like you get into a match and then you move on. But I don't know. There are other parts here where there's multiple enemies on screen. So neat. Remember, it's out there. Now go get it.